I never thought my life would split in half on a random Thursday night, but that's the thing about betrayal. It never schedules itself politely. It just barges in, kicks down the door of your trust, and laughs while everything you thought was solid turns to dust. My name is Liam Carter, and this is the night I found out my boyfriend, Daniel Walsh, had been secretly dating my best friend, Eliza Quinn, while still calling me like everything was normal, like I was still his only one, like I wasn't being played so hard I should have won a damn award for it. It started with something stupid, Eliza leaving her tote bag in my car. She always did that sort of thing, scatterbrained, dramatic, always rushing, always talking about how the universe was sending her signs. I didn't think too much of it until her phone started vibrating inside the bag while I was looking for my charger. I wasn't snooping. I wasn't suspicious. I wasn't even thinking. I just saw the screen flash with Daniel's name and froze. At first, I thought maybe he had the wrong number. Maybe he needed something from me and dialed hers accidentally. But then it buzzed again, Daniel with a heart emoji. My stomach twisted so quickly it felt like someone grabbed it with both fists and wrung it out. Daniel never used emojis with anyone. He would always say they were too childish. But he used them with her? Suddenly my heart was pounding so loudly I could hear it echo in the car. I didn't open the phone. I just stared at it like it was a grenade about to blow my entire reality apart. And maybe part of me already knew the truth. You don't freeze like that unless something inside you recognizes the shape of the knife heading for your back. That night, the weight of that unanswered call sat on my chest like a boulder. I couldn't shake it off. I couldn't breathe without feeling like something was wrong. So I did something I never do. I asked Daniel to meet me at my place after his shift ended. He agreed instantly, cheerful, casual, soft. His voice was warm through the phone, and I almost wanted to forget what I'd seen. Almost. He arrived at my apartment around 10 p.m. He looked tired, hair messy, jacket half-zipped, but he still gave me that smile, the one that usually made my world settle. Except tonight it made me sick. How many times had he given that same smile to her? How many lies had he wrapped in it? We sat on the couch and he placed his hand on mine like nothing was wrong. Like the world was fine. Like I was fine. Pulled away. He noticed. "Liam, what's going on?" he asked. There it was. The voice that usually grounded me now cracked through me like lightning splitting a tree. I swallowed. "Why is your name popping up on Eliza's phone with hearts?" The silence that followed wasn't innocent. It wasn't confused. It wasn't shocked. It was heavy. It was guilty. It was the kind of silence only someone who's been caught red-handed can produce. Daniel's face paled just enough. His jaw tightened just enough. His fingers twitched just enough. And in those tiny fractures, I saw the truth leaking out. He didn't deny it. He didn't even pretend. He just looked down at his hands like he suddenly couldn't remember how they worked. I felt something inside me shatter. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just a quiet internal snap like a thread giving out after too much strain. And that hurt more than any screaming match ever could. "How long?" My voice was a whisper. A ghost. Daniel inhaled sharply. "Liam, it's not what you think." That wasn't the question. His eyes flickered. "A few weeks. Weeks. Not days. Not a moment of weakness. Weeks." My heart didn't break. Collapsed. The room tilted. My throat burned. The walls felt too close. All I could think was, Eliza? My best friend? The one who cried on my shoulder about her breakup? The one who had dinner with us? The one who called Daniel her brother in spirit? I stood up because sitting felt impossible. Breathing felt impossible. Existing felt impossible. He reached for me. "Liam, please. Don't touch me." He stopped mid-movement. His hand suspended in the air like he wasn't sure if he still had the right to breathe near me. Spoiler alert, he didn't. I paced the living room, hands in my hair, fighting the weight crushing my ribs. "You were calling me every night," I said, my voice trembling with anger I didn't know I had. "You were telling me you missed me. You were telling me you loved me. You were planning our anniversary trip." He flinched. Good. He should. "I do love you," he whispered. "Clearly not enough to keep your dick in your pants." I snapped. The pain in his face didn't move me. Nothing could. Betrayal has a way of freezing you solid from the inside out. And Eliza? I asked, barely forcing her name past the bitterness thick in my throat. My best friend? My best friend. Daniel? How could you do that to me? He pressed his hands to his face like he could hide behind them. I didn't mean for it to happen. People never mean for affairs to happen. I spat. They just mean to lie. And you did that beautifully. He stood, desperate, reaching for explanation, for excuses, for anything that could salvage the scraps. Liam. She was going through a lot. She confided in me. She felt alone. Oh, spare me the tragic romance soundtrack. I snapped. Do you want to hear something messed up, Daniel? Eliza told me last week that she thought you were distant with me, and she was worried about us. She said I should communicate better with you. She was giving me relationship advice while sleeping with my boyfriend. His shoulders slumped. He looked defeated, ashamed, unraveling. But I felt nothing for him anymore. Something in me had gone cold, silent, dead. I'm done, I said. His head jerked up. What? I said I'm done. Get out. Liam. Get out. He looked at me like I had ripped the ground out from under him. But guess what? He'd done that to me first. I owed him nothing. Not comfort, not closure, not softness. He moved toward the door, then paused with his hand on the knob. I'm sorry, he whispered. I stared at him, expression empty, voice flat. You're sorry you got caught. He left. The silence after the door slammed was so thick it felt like the air was pushing down on me. I collapsed onto the couch and buried my hands in my face. I didn't cry. Not yet. The shock was too big, too heavy, too unreal to let emotion pass. But when the first tear broke loose, it was like a dam broke. I pulled my knees to my chest and cried until my throat burned, until my body ached, until I had nothing left inside me except the hollow weight of betrayal. The next morning, I blocked Daniel everywhere. Phone, socials, email gone. Then came Eliza. Blocking her was harder. She had been in my life for 8 years. She'd been my confidant, my ride or die, my second home. But she hadn't treated me like hers. As I hit the block button, my chest twisted painfully. Betrayal in friendship isn't sharp. It's slow, like a rope tightening around your lungs. Around noon, she showed up at my apartment. I didn't open the door. She knocked for 20 minutes, calling my name, saying she needed to explain that she never meant to hurt me, that she still loved me as her best friend. I didn't open, because love doesn't look like that. I sat in my living room, listening to her cry through the door, wiping my own tears, wondering how two of the most important people in my life had decided to cut my heart open together. It wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. It was disrespect. It was deception served on a silver platter by the two people I trusted the most. And that was just the beginning. For 2 days, I didn't speak to anyone. I shut the curtains, silenced my phone, ignored the outside world like it didn't exist. But pain has this way of boiling even when you try to keep the lid on. By the 3rd day, it finally spilled over. Not as tears this time, but as anger. The kind that doesn't scream, doesn't explode, doesn't lash out. The quiet kind. The dangerous kind. The kind that decides no more. So I got up, showered, shaved, dressed, and left my apartment for the first time since everything shattered. I didn't know where I was going at first, but my feet seemed to have their own plan, leading me straight to my favorite coffee shop downtown. The place where I used to study, where I planned trips with Daniel, where Eliza and I sat together complaining about life. Funny how the warmest rooms can suddenly feel like crime scenes. I ordered a black coffee and took a seat by the window. The city outside moved like nothing in my world had cracked open, like people weren't capable of destroying each other with a smile. I stared at them, trying to remember what it felt like to trust something without fear. My phone buzzed. Not Daniel. Not Eliza. It was someone I hadn't talked to in months. Aiden Rhodes. Aiden, with storm-gray eyes and a voice like velvet soaked in fire. Aiden, the guy who used to flirt with me at every party, the one Daniel always felt threatened by. The one I gently rejected because I thought loyalty mattered more than temptation. Maybe the universe has a sense of humor. His message read, "Saw your story offline for a few days. You good." Simple. Direct. Unexpected. For the first time in days, I felt something other than pain. Not joy. Not excitement. Just relief. Like someone had cracked a window in a suffocating room. I typed back, "Not really." His reply was instant. "Want company?" And somehow, without thinking, I wrote, "Yeah." He arrived at the cafe in 15 minutes. Tall, sharp-jawed, wearing a dark green sweater that matched his eyes. When he spotted me, his expression shifted from casual curiosity to concern so soft it punched me right in the chest. He slid into the seat across from me. "Okay," he said gently. "What happened?" I thought I'd break again. I thought I'd choke on the words. But the truth spilled out with surprising ease. I told him everything, from the phone call to the confrontation to the silence that followed. And unlike Daniel, unlike Eliza, he didn't interrupt. He didn't defend anyone. He didn't try to soften my pain. He just listened. When I finished, he exhaled like he'd been holding the air in his chest the entire time. "Liam, I knew Daniel wasn't good for you. But this..." He shook his head slowly. "You didn't deserve any of it." "I should have seen it," I muttered. "I should have known." "No," he said firmly. "They should have respected you." I didn't realize how badly I needed to hear that until my eyes burned again. He reached across the table and gently touched my wrist. Not possessive. Not pushing. Just grounding. "If you want to scream," he said, "I'll sit with you. If you want to cry, I'll hold you. If you want to forget everything for a few hours, I'll make you laugh. Whatever you need." And damn it, something inside me loosened, because Aiden wasn't offering romance. He wasn't trying to slide into the empty space Daniel left. He was offering presence, stability, kindness, something I hadn't felt in far too long. We walked around the city for hours, talking about nothing, talking about everything. And slowly the world stopped feeling so sharp around the edges. But peace never lasts long when you're rebuilding from wreckage. At sunset, as we reached the riverfront, someone called my name from behind. I froze. Aiden's expression hardened before I even turned. I didn't need to turn to know who it was. But I did anyway. "Daniel." He looked worse than I'd ever seen him. Unshaven, exhausted, guilt woven into every angle of his face. He took a step toward me, but Aiden moved subtly between us, shoulders squared, expression cold enough to freeze water. "We're talking," Daniel said, ignoring Aiden entirely. "No," I said flatly. "We're not." He swallowed. "Liam, please. I need to explain everything." "You had weeks to explain." I cut in. "But you were too busy sneaking around with Eliza." His face crumpled. "I made a mistake." "No. A mistake is forgetting a birthday. This..." I gestured to the space between us. "This was a choice. Repeated choices." He ran a hand through his hair, agitated. "I can fix this." "You can't fix what you destroyed," I replied, voice steady. "You don't get to burn my trust and then demand access to the ashes." Aiden placed a hand lightly on my shoulder. Not claiming, just protecting. It sent a silent message that even Daniel understood. His eyes flicked to Aiden, then back to me. "So that's it? You're with him now?" I scoffed. "I'm with no one. But at least he doesn't lie to me." Daniel's face faltered. For a second, I saw the man I used to love. The man who could charm a room with one smile. The man I thought I'd build a future with. I felt the grief of it. Not for him, but for the version of myself who believed he deserved better treatment. "You ruined us, Daniel," I said softly. "Not me." He opened his mouth, closed it, then nodded slowly like the truth was finally sinking in. Then he whispered, "I'm sorry, Liam." "For what it's worth," I said. "I hope you learn from this. For the next person. Because they deserve someone who chooses them fully." He took one last look at me, then at Aiden, and walked away. The silence afterward tasted like closure. Aiden exhaled. "You handled that better than I would've." "I'm tired," I said. Not angry anymore, just tired. He nodded. Then come on. Let's get you home. We walked under streetlights, the city glowing gold around us. At my building's entrance, Aiden hesitated. If you need anything at all, you call me. I will, I said. And Liam? Yeah, you're stronger than you think. For the first time since the betrayal, I believed it. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't shake. I didn't break. I slept. And in the morning, the world felt a little lighter. Not healed. Not whole. Just beginning. And beginnings are powerful. Because they mean the ending didn't win. Because they mean I'm still here. Because they mean I get to choose what happens next. And if you're reading this, if you've been betrayed, broken, abandoned, or lied to, then hear me clearly. Don't let the person who hurt you be the author of your ending. Rewrite your own damn story. Stand up, breathe deep, take back your power, and walk forward like the universe owes you space. Because it does.